Dr. Elizabeth Hoefer wants you to get your head on straight. In a world gone sideways, having balance and integrity in all areas of life leads to having confidence that breeds clarity. Clarity is essential to living an authentic life, and all the information shared on the Get Your Head On Straight podcast is designed to inspire you to live your life fulfilled. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hoefer. I'm really excited about my guest today. Kelley is an awesome inspiration to me because she has helped me grow personally in a lot of the things that I'm doing in my life. The name of her company is called Holistic Lifestyle Coaching with Kelley, and she's known for some pretty cool quotes. One of them is, "What you eat in private, you will wear in public." And secondarily, she likes to say, don't just become inspired, become an inspiration. Kelley, welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
Hi, girl. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm excited to talk to you today. And I want all of my listeners to understand the journey that I've been on with you, because it's been a really transformative one just since November of 2020. And personally, I wanted to share what it is that you do and how you help me and how you help countless others, so that if people are out there thinking that it can't be done, or they don't know how to get started, or they just feel kind of at a loss, maybe you can give them some like little nuggets on how to get started with really investing in themselves on a personal level.
Yes, absolutely.
So just real quick, I obviously have known you for a while. Your mom, Dr. Kelley Miller, and I are close friends and colleagues, and we actually share a lot of patients. So for probably a year, I've been sending all of my patients to your mom's clinic, and they've been working with her and you. And I see their transformation, and then they come back and they say, "Dr. Hoefer, why aren't you there?" And at some point, I got sick of answering the question, "I don't know," because there's no excuse. So literally the day before Thanksgiving 2020, I made an appointment to come see you guys. And I started a journey. And at this point, I'm down 20 pounds. And truly, it isn't about weight loss. It's about a healthy lifestyle. So I want to talk to that issue with you. And I also want to kind of get your story. So from my heart to you, I just want everybody to know that this is a thing that I've been personally doing. And the people that I invite onto my podcast are people that I know, people that are inspiring to me, people that have been benefiting from Blair Chiropractic. And today I just want to talk to Miss Kelley about her journey and what it is that she does to inspire and be inspiring, just like her quote. So Kelley, give me a little back history on kind of where you started with this and what's going on.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on losing all that weight. I think it's so awesome, because that's what I want to do is, help people. And it is not just about what is on the outside. It's about what's on the inside, emotionally, physically, and mentally. So when I first got started in this was about 10 years ago, because my mom's been in practice for 18 plus years. And I was working with my mom as like an office manager. And I was going to school for nutrition, but, things happened, and I was in a long relationship for 7 years and got engaged. And just in that relationship, I thought I was whole with myself, and I thought that I was able to, be who I wanted to be, and figured out what I was wanting to do with my life. But in reality, I wasn't. I actually was 200 pounds, and I never physically saw it in the mirror. I never thought of anything of it. I always, when I'd look at myself in the mirror, it was like no big deal. Like I ignored what I actually looked like, and people would, my family would make comments. My ex-fiance at the time now, he would make comments to me, and he would, like, his friends would say rude things, but I would just brush it off my shoulders, because I would act as a strong person, but in reality, I really wasn't strong. I was sad inside.
Were you denying the fact that you had gained weight, and you were just kind of still putting on like a brave face? And
yeah, so I've always struggled with weight since I was in high school, actually junior high. I'll never forget when I was 13 years old, my mom took me shopping for clothes. And at 13 years old, I was going in a size 15 pants. And for me, I mean, when you're 13 and you're doing that, it is kind of like a breaking point. But for me, it didn't it didn't really bother me. So my weight has always been an issue since I was young.
Okay.
My cousins would call me ripples. Like I've gotten made fun of, and I've been hurt in so many ways. That's why I say it's not just a weight thing. It's more of an emotional mental healing process. So as I was getting older and I got in my relationship when I was really young, I was 18 years old when I met my ex-fiance. And so I never really got to soul search for myself to really work on myself and figure out what it is that I want. So I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then finally I got to like this big point where, I'm 200 pounds and
200 pounds on how tall are you?
I'm 4'11". So being almost 200 pounds on a 4'11" body was pretty big. But the thing is I never noticed it because I ignored it. I ignored it because I didn't want to face myself. I was so afraid to face myself. And I say that now because of the journey that I've been on. And a lot of us get afraid to face ourselves in so many different ways. And for the longest time, I was just afraid to face myself and who I am truly as a person. And I was afraid to be who I was, like I was going to get judged or whatever the case was. So one day I just looked in the mirror and I was looking at pictures of myself and just woke up and started going on a health journey. I started working out with a personal trainer, started eating really healthy. I actually started listening to my mom on what she was telling me to do. My sister as well, she's a nutritionist, and they were like, Kelley, you got to eat this way, you got to do that. So I started to go on that journey and I started to work out and eat really healthy. And the weight did start to come down. It took a while. It took me about a year and a half to almost 2 years till I got really skinny and I was really feeling good in myself. And that is when I decided I wanted to go to nutrition school when I was working with my mom. And I was like feeling good. I'm like, okay, I've got this. I found myself and this is great. I'm going to go to school and I'm going to become a personal trainer. So I got certified as a personal trainer and I started training people and everything was great. And I got really skinny, but I got to a really unhealthy skinny. So it became almost like an eating disorder. And I was doing these pre-workout pills that were so dangerous. And I got down to about 99 pounds. So I was very, very skinny. And at the time I was in my moment, in my prime, and I left my ex-fiance and went on this crazy adventure life. And I still was thinking that I had found myself, but I didn't. I didn't find myself.
Well, what do you think was the reason that you were able to like shed the weight and kind of got a little bit obsessive with it and then realized like you still had issue? Was it emotional trauma? Was it family system issues? What was the deal?
It was not necessarily emotional trauma. It was me never being confident with myself. I was never like insecure. I just never was able to really figure out who I am as a person. So it wasn't like I had trauma as a kid. I mean, I will say when my cousins and my sister did call me ripples and would make fun of me, and I got made fun of in elementary school for being overweight. So those things I think were traumatic to me, and that when I got really skinny, I never emotionally healed myself when I got really skinny. It was a physical skinny. It was like in my prime of like, I'm skinny now. I can get whatever guy I want. I can go on this crazy adventure, which I did. But I never found myself. I never found who I really was. I was still a lost soul. And so being in Chicago for a year, I had my ups and I had my downs, and I came back home and I, was like, okay, I'm going to come back home and I'm going to figure life out again. And when I came back home, it took me a good solid, I would say 4.5 years from being home, which for me is almost a year ago, is when I actually was able to really find myself and really dig emotionally deeply on myself as to how I became a holistic nutritionist. But it took that 4.5 years of coming home from Chicago and really trying to figure out what is it that I want to do with my life, because I started out wanting to go as a nutritionist, then changed my career, went into sales for cars, did that for almost 10 years and like found my happiness there. And I was like, oh, I'm making all this money. But in reality, was that really my happiness? It wasn't. I was a lost soul for a long time. So even being skinny, I was not whole with myself. And so when I did get skinny, everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Like, you're so inspiring. And at that time I was like, yeah. And I really was preaching to inspire people, but I really wasn't being true to my word. Okay. I was not being true to my word.
What was it that finally made you realize that you had to get like honest with yourself and get whole?
Talk about traumatic things. When I was younger, My dad was never like physically abusive, but he was verbally abusive. And growing up, and it was never about my weight or anything like that. He was just verbally abusive. And he got in a car accident and then was in a coma and came out of it. And became like a changed man. So in 2018, he passed away. But 6 months prior to my dad passing away, he apologized to me for everything that he's ever done to me and really showed me what like true love, he had for me as his daughter.
Wow.
And just apologized on everything that he's done. And I've always wanted that, but I never realized that I wanted that until I got it.
Yeah.
And I got to build a really strong relationship with my dad before he died. And then after he died, it was almost like a wake-up call. That's when I really started to dive in and really focus on myself and really soul search on who I am as a person. And from that point on, after my dad passed away, it was really hard. But I think because I got to heal, like that was the one thing that was missing inside of me that I was able to heal. And as I was able to heal that, I was able to move forward with who I really am supposed to be.
Like you said, you didn't even realize that piece was missing until it was given to you, like a gift. Like God gave you a gift of healing and forgiveness from your father who you thought you loved and had a great relationship with. I mean, I think everybody has some sort of issue with their parents just because humans are messy. But I think that informs how you help your clients as well, right? Like a lot of people are in the same boat. They don't realize that they're missing something, but because you've had that experience, are you able to like ask questions and go a little deeper and get them to think about things that they probably wouldn't have even tried to address?
100%. When I go deep with my clients, I do ask things because my journey from when I healed after my dad apologized to me, I healed emotionally, but I did gain weight back. And I'm now down to where I wanted to be, but it's because I've healed myself emotionally, physically, and mentally. And after my dad passed away, I really focused on myself and decided, you know what? I'm going to go back into school. I'm going to become a holistic nutritionist. And I wasn't even planning to go back and work with my mom. I literally was just going to school, and I really put my faith in God. And I just prayed to God to ask him to lead me where I need to be and just show me. And it took a while for him to show me, let me tell you. And it's never on our time, it's on his time.
Right.
So, about 6 months ago is when my life completely changed. And I graduated school almost a year ago. So I started working with my mom last November. So it was a year since November. And about 6 months ago is when I first got on this journey of starting my own practice. And I was driving my car one day, and my uncle, who I really don't talk to, I don't really have a strong relationship with. He's my step uncle, which is my dad's sister's husband. And I don't talk to him on the phone or anything. And I was driving and I get a call out of the blue, and I'll fast forward to the night before. But the night before, I was like really emotional, like just crying. And, as I really stepped forward in my faith with God to lead me where I need to be, to get back onto the journey of why I'm here. Like, what is it that I need to be here to do? Because I made these words of what you eat in private, you wear in public, and don't just become inspired, become an inspiration. So those words I came up with 10 years ago. And ever since I've had those words, I've got to preach it. But I've never been able to preach it because I haven't been able to believe in myself to preach it. So I've just been praying, God, like, give me guidance, show me where I need to be so people can actually believe what I'm preaching. And I'm not just talking garbage out of my mouth and having them believe me, but it's really not true beliefs for myself. So when I got the call, my uncle said, are you sitting down? And I'm like, oh no, is somebody okay? At the time, my mom was on a honeymoon and I was freaking out, like, is she okay? And he goes, yes. So that night, the night before, I was crying and really missing my dad and just crying, just wanting him to be here so I could talk to him because I had a really strong relationship with him. And my uncle called me and he goes, I got woken up at 3 a.m., which he's 3 hours ahead, and I was crying at 1 a.m.
Wow.
And he goes, I can't explain it to you, but there was these voices that woke me up and told me I had to call you. And he said these voices were just talking to me. And I was like, okay. And he goes, they woke me up and they asked me to call you and tell you this. And I said, okay, I'm listening. And he goes, the voices told me that you need to rise up and be a better woman than you are now. And that you're going to make a difference in this world and you're going to change people's lives. And I was like, okay, like I froze in that moment because for the past almost year, I've been praying to God, like, give me guidance, show me where I need to be in the moment and let me know what I'm doing is right, because I've always wanted to be like a motivational speaker or change people's lives in some way or another, but I've never been confident with myself to do it.
Right.
And so having that healing with my dad and being able to really move forward and heal within myself emotionally and getting that call. And, he's like, and I asked the voices questions and I was like, well, what did you ask him? I want to know. And he goes, I just kept asking him, what else do I need to tell her? And he just said, you're going to change people's lives and you just need to rise up and be the woman that God created you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that day changed my life forever. And I have been taken on a journey that is not only inspiring people, but I'm able to change people's lives. And I am 100% whole with myself emotionally, physically, and mentally. Like I can look at myself in the mirror and tell myself that I love you. I think you're a beautiful person inside and out. And that is what I have been preaching to my clients.
Yeah.
It's not about what you look like on the outside. And us women, we judge ourselves all the time and we get dressed up for other women. We don't dress up for our boyfriends or our husbands. We dress up for other women because we don't want them to judge us. Like somebody has nice, eyes, or somebody has nice lashes. We want it,
Yeah.
Someone has fake boobs or somebody has fake lips. I want it. But this is what society portrays, is to be somebody that you're not. And so what I preach is you don't have to be somebody that you're not to be whole with yourself and love yourself. What really is going to make you love yourself and really not worry about all those other things is connecting with yourself and healing inside of whatever's deep down inside. And I always use this analogy that I really love is when you're really struggling with emotions and you're not really sure what it is and you just can't speak about it or it can't come out. I say the real you is deep down inside and she's drowning and she's trying to get air, but you're not letting her. She's just down there drowning and drowning and drowning. And she really wants to come up for air, but she can't come up for air until you heal what's deep down there. So she's going to continue to drown until you release what's down there. And once you release what's down there inside that's stuck, she's going to come up for air and she's going to be able to breathe and she's going to feel like she's not drowning anymore.
Right.
And when you have that moment, you're going to know that that's the you that you've always wanted to be, but you've been afraid to be. And so therefore, when you are up for air and you're able to breathe, that means that that's the woman that you need to be. And that's what I preach. And I love using that analogy because a lot of us drowned. We don't realize we're drowning. And, we go from gaining weight to losing weight to gaining weight to losing weight. And we don't fix what's on the inside of us. We only want to fix what's the outside because that's what society shows us in the magazines, in the movies, all these actresses portraying something that's not real. And the one thing that's going to be most attractive within yourself is you being you and you being real.
100%.
So that is what I have become. And that's what I teach my clients. I'm not only just a nutrition coach, I also do life coaching and health coaching. So it's a whole program that you go in it, like, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about feelings, or, people say I've been to a therapist and it's never worked, but it's not therapy. It's literally getting in touch with who you're afraid to be and trying to break down why you're afraid to be that person, because in reality, that person's been hiding it inside you for a long time that she can't break out.
Besides your personal journey, can you give me an example of an amazing client that you've helped? And
yes, I have this amazing client that she inspires me. And that's what I want. I want her to inspire me, and I want my clients to inspire me like I inspire them. She came into our office and she was referred by you, so thankful. And she came into our office and you could see that she was lost. It was a lost soul. And she had said she has not been able to be under 200 pounds in over 20 years. And those are challenges that I love to take on. So she started with my mom and I helped her with nutrition, did menu plans for her, and she lost weight. She stayed committed and she kept staying committed. And one day our nutritional program was up and she texted me out of the blue and she asked me, she goes, do you know any holistic therapists that could help me? And I said, well, funny, I'm a life coach too. And I do holistic life coaching and I can help you. And she's like, okay, I'm going to think about it. And she thought about it. She figured out a way how to do the program and, for the funds wise and so forth, and started the program with me. And she has completely changed. She has lost over, I want to say 45 pounds. She's under 200. She looks amazing. And she's a whole different person. She's got a whole new face. Like her face is bright and shining. And you just see that smile that when she first came in, there was none. It was like she was lost.
Yeah.
And now you could see that she looks free and she's peeking out of her shell and she's being the woman that she's always been afraid to be. And when she had so many emotional traumas that she would hold on to that she didn't realize that she held on to.
Right.
And we worked so much on releasing those emotional traumas. And I'm kind of like a warden. I really make you do the work and I really make you go deep. And sometimes she get mad at me, but that's okay. That's what I want you to get mad at me because that means I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Doing my job.
Yeah.
But she came out of it and healing herself in so many ways that I was impressed. Like she's inspired me because she hasn't gained weight back. She has her moments. And I don't like to call them cheat moments. She has her moments, you know, because it's the lifestyle change. You go in 75% commitment and then the other percent is to enjoy yourself. So she still goes and enjoys herself and she still has the weight off and she's just doing amazing. And so she has totally inspired me and changed her life completely by doing the nutrition program and going into the life coaching program of really digging deep on the emotional, spiritual part of her well-being.
Right on. And I know exactly who you're talking about. And that's one of the people who are like, Dr. Hoefer, when are you going to do this? And
yes.
It's true. As much as she inspires you, it's me too. And yeah, I get texts from her. Hey, how you doing? Want to go to the store? Let's go buy the right food. And whatever it is in my head, I have a block with going to the store, but she'll go with me and it'll be like a fun hangout instead of like this task. You know, it's so funny because I'm obviously really good at what I do and I love taking care of my patients and I have my niche of like upper cervical blare and chiropractic but then I've got my little hang up of like going to the grocery store and buying sweet potatoes. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course. We like to help other people, but we don't like to help ourselves.
I know, but you know what? It's all about like really getting to the root of it, like what you've described. And I'm very excited to hear your story. I knew a little bit of it, but even this conversation has given me even more details and more background about like what makes you tick and why you're so excited to help people. So for those listening, I want you to tell us where they can find you, because I'm sure that you can do this virtually as well as in person, right?
That's correct. Yes. I could do virtually. I could do in office, whatever's preferable. You can find me at the Naturopathic Center for Wellness.com. And I'm under there as the holistic nutrition coach. My website is underway, so that's not ready yet. But I also do have an Instagram that you can find me on, which is Holistic Lifestyle Coaching with Kelley. It's HLC_Kelley, which is KELLEY. So you can find me there as well. And again, my website is underway. But on my Instagram is where I'll have my website posted. But you can find me at the Naturopathic Center for Wellness.com, or you can find me on my Instagram.
Awesome. Well, do you have any other words of wisdom that you would like to share?
Yes. You know, like I say, don't just become inspired, become an inspiration. And if you feel lost and you feel in fear and you're not sure where your life's going to bring you, I would love to go on a journey with you and help you figure out where you're supposed to be and emotionally, physically, mentally help you and get you there.
That sounds amazing.
Like with you, Dr. Hoefer.
Yes, exactly. Well, I can tell you, and I can tell everyone listening, I have been on this journey with Kelley since November, and I'm feeling completely motivated and I'm sticking to it. And there has been 1 or 2 times that I've gotten, you don't call it cheat, you call it reward or something like that. What do you say?
I say never call it a cheat. I say it's a reward and it's enjoying, because if you call it a cheat, it's a diet. We're
exactly. And it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And it's a whole different way to think about why you're feeding yourself the food you're feeding yourself. And what's interesting is I ate pizza for the first time over the holidays in like 8 weeks. And my tummy hurt so bad. I was like, it's not even worth it. I mean, it tasted good for like the minute that I was chewing the food, but then the aftermath, the cheese, the dough, the gluten, all the things, I was like, it's not worth it right now until my gut is fully healed. Maybe eventually I'll be able to enjoy a slice of pizza, but I know emotionally, I never considered myself necessarily having an eating disorder or being a comfort eater. But what I recognize when I'm like strict about the protocol in the beginning, because I want to make sure that I'm giving my body the proper nutrients, is that I would just go to something that was easy and satisfying in the moment because it helped me like deal with whatever. And I was like, holy cow, there is such a psychology to this. So even though I didn't identify, it's almost like somebody who doesn't want to admit they're an alcoholic. I don't think I had a food addiction, but maybe saying that means I did. I don't know. So it's so interesting to go down this journey. So I am fully committed to the program. I refer every person that I know to this clinic, to Dr. Miller, to Kelley, and eventually we're going to get Dr. Miller on the podcast and have her talk about the work that she does because it's obviously incredible. So very thankful for you, Kelley. Thanks for your time today. We're really excited to let people know about what you do, where you're at, and I'm hoping that you'll have some people reaching out to you and getting some help.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad to be here.
Absolutely. We'll talk very soon.
You do the same.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Really excited about having our guest today. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always reach out to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hoefer. Until next time, take care.
Thank you for listening to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hoefer. Visit wellconnectedchiro.com for more details from the show blog post and to learn what Blair Upper Cervical Chiropractic can do for you. To learn more about Dr. Hoefer and her practice, you can find her at Well Connected Chiropractic in Mission Viejo, California by visiting wellconnectedchiro.com for more information.